Holy crap, you gotta listen to this. I've never been so in love with a stranger.
I don't know if you are attacking DEI because you convinced yourself that racism and discrimination doesn't exist anymore, or if you've just convinced yourself that it's okay. What I do know is that white supremacist groups still feel emboldened enough to march openly in American streets. People are proudly proclaiming themselves racist and bigots on social media and even national television. And I know that it'll be those people that are cheering and applauding for you the loudest when you decide to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion in our schools. And the fact that doesn't give you pause, that it doesn't make you feel sick and slimy, tells me everything I need to know about you. When I look at you, the 6 of you that'll vote against this, I'm disgusted. But I'm also grateful. I'm grateful for all the experiences I had that kept me from being like you. You see, there's racists and bigots in my family. I heard the N-word and derogatory jokes growing up, but when I found myself on my own before I'd even graduated high school, that family wasn't there to help me. My friend Liliana's family was. They were Guatemalan immigrants. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have gotten a lot more trouble than I did. Did you know that immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than U.S. citizens?
He's right.
Statistically. And then there was my friend Trey's mom, taking care of all those kids all on her own. Still somehow always able still to find a prayer and a plate for me too. Did you know that black mothers are more than 3 times as likely to be single moms than white mothers?
He's right.
Statistically. It was the queer kids that helped me learn how to navigate life on the streets. Did you know that LGBTQ kids are more than twice as likely than their peers to be homeless?
Right again.
Statistically. But because of those kids, when my child came out to me, I was able to be the father that they needed, despite all of the religious indoctrination I've been subjected to. Did you know it's more likely your priest will be a predator than your kid will be trans?
Dang.
Statistically. Now, I know you don't care about my stories or my statistics. Your fear and ignorance has got you so turned around rather than embracing the future. You're clinging desperately to echoes of the past. But that future, it's still coming, and it doesn't look much like you, statistically. Shout out to the student speakers. You may be blind, but these kids aren't. They see you. More than that, they see that you do not see them. So tonight, after you vote against their future and go home to bask in the approval of racists and bigots,
Dang.
don't mistake this for a day that we stood in your way and couldn't stop you. No, today's the day you decided to stand in the way of these kids and their future. And someday, sooner than you think, they're going to run right over you and not even look back. Make good decisions.
Oh my God.
There is nothing hidden anymore. No hoods, no marks, just flag, banners and chant dripping with hate. White supremacists are marching again, openly, boldly, proudly in the street of America. If that does not terrify you, then you are not paying attention, because history is knocking and it is wearing Sito boots. This is not the past, this is right now. Watch and pay attention and I will share my thought later.
Liberals overwhelmingly support Luigi. All these white liberals overwhelmingly support Luigi. Quiet as fuck about Rodney Hinton. Quiet. Because it's easy to find a cop. It's very hard to find a CEO. So they're going to stay quiet because that's an attack dog. The white allyship, white liberal, all that, at the end of the day, their support is to keep you underneath them. Nothing changed from white liberal support. It's all performative. It's all performative. Liberal versus Republican is good cop, bad cop. It's all white. And if you think that they're going to ever trade in their privilege and their power to give you equity, you've lost your fucking mind. That's not how these people operate. That's not how these system operate. They playing good cop, bad cop. That's a game. It's a game. Even like that white lady, Shiloh, call a little autistic boy, raised all that money. If you in the house, you got a dog. Every day you wake up, that dog bites you. Mm-hmm. Bite the shit out you. Bite you, damn near try to kill you. And you get up every day and still try to pet the dog? You a goddamn fool. These people damn near made this woman a millionaire just for calling a little black baby. And who you think donating the money? It's your boss. It's your coworker. It's your friend or your friend's family. These people live they stay on a code with each other. Because to be white is to be a perpetual victim, villain, and a narcissist. Mm. That's whiteness. You're a victim, you're a villain, and you're a narcissist.
A lot of folks use white wealth to shame other black folks, and y'all don't know nobody white nor wealthy. I have seen so many people talk down about our community like, oh, y'all rather buy Jordans than passport. Black folks always buy the monogram print designer thing. Oh, and my favorite, white wealth is quiet. I just got off an 8-day tour cruise through Italy, starting in Venice and ending in Rome, and also going through a little bit of Croatian. The average age of the people on that cruise were probably like 50, maybe like 60. So I'm striking up conversations with people. People are striking up conversations with me. One of the last days of the cruise, I was wearing a baseball cap. It had Chanel on it. And a white woman that had this wildly colored crocheted style sweater comes up to me and says, oh my God, you look like somebody I should have been finding on the cruise. I needed a shopping buddy. She has a pair of Chanel sunglasses on. She's holding a vintage monogram, never full Louis Vuitton bag. So she proceeds to tell me how on the cruise she lost a pair of Chanel glasses and she had to buy another pair. She then asked me if I did a little shopping because we were just in Naples and she ran it up. She tells me about her vintage never full monogram print bag, when she bought it, how much she paid for it, and then proceeds to pull out a brand new monogram Louis Vuitton clutch with the thick brass LV on the front. The only thing quiet about this lady's luxury was her husband that was standing behind her, who was probably passing her the card as she was at the counter. Rewinding backwards in the trip to a lady and her husband that I ran into twice. As we were docked in one of the cities in Italy, I see she's got that big, bright, mustard-colored Louis Vuitton bag. So I'm like, girl, let me see what you got. She pulls out a monogram denim pleaty blue bag, then pulls out a brand new black leather Yves Saint Laurent bag with matching wallet. She then asks, hey, did y'all see the guy selling the bags outside the port? I bought this one too, and proceeds to pull out a Louis Vuitton replica bag. A little crossbody purse that has a gold chain strap, which she just snickers and say, doesn't it look like the real one? Mind you, having just went both into Louis Vuitton and Yves Saint Laurent buying authentic goods, had no shame in buying from the uncles on the side street. White luxury isn't quiet. You just don't hear it because you're not speaking the same language. Monetary wealth always makes itself known.
Prove me wrong. Convince me that Black Lives Matter is about doing good and instead of creating racial divide. Now, I'm going to answer that question.
Okay.
I hated Black Lives Matter. Couldn't stand them. Vocal critic of them. Because all lives matter. My lives matter. Why does somebody else's life matter more than me? And so every mistake, every trip up, everything in the news, I was like, I told you. And I would stand 10 toes down on that. And it's why amazing I'm having this conversation with you. Until I had a coworker one day, I was arguing against Black Lives Matter and why it needs to even exist. And he looked at me and goes, let me ask you something. Let's say you have 4 adopted daughters. And I'm like, okay, because I don't have kids that I know of. He said, so you have these 4 beautiful daughters. You have a Hispanic, an Asian, a white, and a black daughter. And your little black daughter comes up to you and says, Daddy, do you love me? He goes, what do you say? Well, of course I love you. He goes, wait a second. You don't mean to say, you don't tell them I love all my daughters. And I'm like, no, I tell her I love her. He's like, why aren't you telling her I love all my daughters? And I kind of looked and it dawned on me. And he goes, that little girl in that moment is hurting. Whatever it is, she's hurting. And she needs the love of her community around her. You know, you're a dad. He goes, how do you respond to that moment? He goes, there's a community in America that's hurting. Yeah. Whether you want to agree with it, whether you want to see it or understand it, they're hurting and they're crying out. And now they're acting, they're rebelling because we're not listening. Yeah. He goes, so do you beat your daughter? Or do you love on your daughter? And I'm like, he goes, because it's not your birth daughter, right? It's adopted. Different community, right? Yeah. And it just hit me. And I'm like, oh, I'm the asshole.
You know, I just watched a white man talking about black fatigue. And he said that he's been wanting to say this for 40 years. 40 years. Now, he's not an old man. No. He looks like he's in my generation, Gen X. And what's funny is 90% of this black fatigue conversation that's been going on amongst the whites, do you know what generation of people is coming from? White ones. White Gen Xers. And much in the immortal words of Ice Cube, God damn, I'm glad y'all set it off. I am. Because this is a conversation that a lot of people within the Gen X generation, but don't share that white skin, have been wanting to say to you bastards for a very long time. A very long time. way to adopt the same racist ass attitudes as your parents and grandparents. Good job. Of course you would sell us out. Just because you can talk about certain milestones and touchstones that we all share does not mean we're a generation of people that get along with each other. In fact, some of you motherfuckers I wouldn't stand next to if you were on fucking fire. I wouldn't. While you're talking about Breakfast Club and leg warmers and He-Man and G.I. Joe and Voltron, do you know we just passed the 40th anniversary of the bombing of the MOVE organization in Philadelphia, and I didn't see one of you white, black, fatigue-having motherfuckers say a goddamn thing about it? Did you notice that? Where the Philadelphia Police Department dropped a bomb on people who were living in a socialist commune, black folk. I noticed y'all didn't have, where's the nostalgia for Gen X for that? Where is it? You see, a lot of you Gen Xers, white ones, I might add, a lot of you white Gen Xers, y'all have always been a disappointment. That's why there is no such thing as solidarity amongst the Gen X generation. Because we know how some of y'all move, and we ain't liked your asses since. We saw you. Don't think we didn't. You thought you were able to get away with, oh, well, I like Tupac, bitch. Who gives a fuck what you like? Who gives a fuck what you like when it comes to Pac? That's you glomming on the shit. And you expect, well, we gave you Red Hot Chili Peppers. Where's this white Gen Xers black fatigue for shit like Rodney King? No, y'all like to talk about riots as if y'all don't remember why the fuck somebody would riot in the first place. See, we lost some of you motherfuckers during the OJ trial. Ain't no use to me lying. Some of y'all lost y'all balls during the OJ trial because you forgot you were Gen X and remembered you were white. And we just been carrying your asses around. Y'all bring nothing to the table. Y'all nostalgia means shit to us. It always has. Because all the fuck you did was look at the shit that your grandparents and grandparents were saying, and you try to pretend like you weren't one of them. Because you like Michael Jackson, Billie Jean on MTV. You knew 90% of the shit that your parents said was wrong. Because you got a chance to see us. You got a chance to be around us. But we noticed you guys were no different than your parents and grandparents. We noticed that. We looked and said, while your parents and grandparents remember the greatness of Ronald Reagan, not around here. Not around here. Sorry. There was no greatness to Ronald Reagan. Fuck him every day and twice on fucking Sundays. While you guys remember, we won the Cold War. We didn't win shit. We didn't win a goddamn thing. Some of you motherfuckers wasn't willing to fight shit. The power, fucking the Soviet Union, nothing. You saw what crack cocaine did to our neighborhoods. And you kept your fucking mouth shut. You kept your fucking mouth shut. Even though you knew for a fact the Rockefeller drug laws and Reagan's war on drugs, which was a war on poor black and brown bodies, you knew it was wrong. In your heart, you knew. Because you had black friends in school, remember? I can't be racist. I know a black kid. You didn't hear them stories? You didn't? Oh, that's right. But we're supposed to all be unified because we're Gen X. We were the latchkey kids. Some of us were latchkeys because we only had one parent at the house. Some of y'all were latchkeys because your mother and father were getting a fucking divorce. All that bullshit that they told you, all that bullshit your grandparents told you, you were supposed to be the generation to fight that shit. But you didn't. And we see the result now. Some of y'all within the Gen X generation aren't worth a fuck. You're not. Sorry. You are not. All you've ever had is nostalgia. Love you some born in the USA, but you ain't never listened to the lyrics. You have never listened to the lyrics of Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. You ain't never listened to it. Never. Y'all want to try to pretend like music was great and we all was getting along. Do you remember when MTV didn't want to play any black fucking artist? Do you remember how your MTV Raps hit? It was music we were making that y'all were fucking taking because the shit was being played more in those small ass white towns than they were around us. We would buy a certain album and then y'all would buy a certain album and that's how the shit would go platinum. That's when artists started fucking catering to your dumb asses. Remember Run DMC and Aerosmith? I remember Run DMC being the hottest hip hop group around. And I remember Aerosmith, The End. We want some nostalgia? Fuck you. Fuck you. No. And now we see the result of that shit. Y'all have become the parents y'all couldn't stand. Those divorced parents you motherfuckers dislike so much. I'll never be like them. You're exactly like them. You adopted their same fucking racism. You just use newfangled words. You were the motherfuckers that came up with criminal and thug equals black. You did. You're the one that taught your fucking children that somehow being black is a carte blanche to get a bunch of goddamn things. And the majority of you motherfuckers voted for that stupid son of a bitch sitting in the White House as if you don't remember what happened in 1989. Oh, I forgot. It might not have played well in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We ain't never been the same. We ain't never been the same. I'm thanking you motherfuckers for actually showing your true colors. Cause I ain't trust some of y'all in a while. A long while. This Gen X solidarity has always pissed me the fuck off. Cause I know for a fact where I come from and the world that I've seen, some of you motherfuckers not only don't give a fuck about it, but never gave a fuck about it. You just like the fact that we were all in the same generation. We're the unknowns. No, we are the knowns. You motherfuckers are the unknowns. Because we didn't know whether or not y'all were actually going to grow up and be different than your parents and grandparents. Well, now we see that you aren't. Now we see that you aren't. It's quite fucking apparent when it comes to the Gen X generation, with all the striving and the success that everybody else around has tried to fucking make out of that goddamn generation. It's always been you lazy bastards that have always held us back. That's why there is no such thing as Gen X solidarity. I'm just glad you motherfuckers took your mask off. We've been waiting for y'all to be who you truly are for 40 years. I bought the Thriller album. Fucking thrill these nuts. Thrill these fucking nuts. I went to see Purple Rain. Do you want a cookie or something? Y'all have always been a disappointment. Always. Now you're being an out loud disappointment. So I want you to put that on your black fatigue calendar. The very day, I see or hear one of you, I'm suffering from black fatigue motherfuckers talk about the bombing of the MOVE organization in 1985. Maybe I'll sit down and deem you worthy enough to have a conversation with. As it stands right now, you motherfuckers are showing exactly why we've never trusted some of you. There's not enough MTV and He-Man for me to do so. You know, by accident, I scanned my For You page, and that video that came out shortly after Donald Trump made that video, or that AI video about Trump Gaza #1, popped up. And the Muslim man from Dearborn that says, first off, this guy's an idiot and he'll never, he's an idiot, he's stupid, but he voted for Jill Stein. And his rationale was, well, if Kamala had won, no one would have ever believed us ever again. Can I be honest with some of y'all on the left, especially you far leftists that, want to blow everything the fuck up without a plan in place? There's a reason we will never stand with you again. Never. You can call it bootlicking Democrats. I call it you don't have any fucking strategy. You're a bull in a china shop a blind bull in a china shop. You don't know what the fuck you're gonna hit. You're gonna hit us and everything else that you want to smash up to pieces. You see, you never had a strategy. You know how I know you never had a strategy? Because some of y'all hopped y'all dumb ass out here and said, I'm not gonna, some of y'all literally made rationales on voting for a bitch that shows up every 4 fucking years to run for president, loses, takes your money and bones the fuck out until the next 4 years show up. Oh, she's also a Russian plant, but we're not even gonna get into that. Some of y'all actively said vote for Trump, but don't vote for Kamala Harris and expect to be accepted in my community. In other words, you banked your activism here on the lives of people in Gaza to try to prove a fucking point, and then you failed. Every one of y'all love bringing up Martin Luther King. Here's something a lot of y'all don't remember. A lot of y'all don't remember this. The Montgomery bus boycott wasn't about, oh, wow, let's show them we don't need the bus. It was an economic crippling. It was. The Montgomery bus boycott was about economically crippling the bus system in Montgomery, Alabama. Once you hit them pockets, people came and started to talk to people. You got to pack them pockets first. The whole time when y'all were getting mad at Democrats and Kamala Harris and this, that, and the third, did any of you ever try to boycott their donors? Did you ever think about boycotting their donors? Did you even know that they had donors that you could boycott? You didn't put no effort into that. None. You didn't try to economically make these people come to the table. Because you know what you would have done? If you had started an economic boycott behind every donor to the Democratic Party, those donors would have forced those Democrats to come talk to you. In America, it's always about economics. You want to make a statement, pat them pockets. Don't believe me? Look at Target. Black folks didn't boycott every fucking superstore, Walmart, and we're just going to boycott any of these stores so that when we get, no, bitch. You boycott strategically, like a surgeon. You don't boycott like a dumbass. But y'all will bring up, we're bringing up Martin Luther King. We must be on the right side of history. You're not. Your torch it all so that I can get my little thing magnified doesn't work. Because you're going after the politician and not the people that back those politicians with that money. And this is why nobody will ever listen to you again. For what? You can't lead us no goddamn where. You don't know where the fuck you're going. That's why you see so many of these fucking far leftist fucking influencers who had all that mouth. Now all of a sudden they find another shit to do and putting hands in pockets and whistling by graveyards and shit. Because you weren't strategic. You wanted to make a point. Gaza was your point. Okay. You want to bring these people to the table? Hit the people that are donating to them. You could have hit every fucking person, every donor. Didn't matter where that money came from. Name them and shame them. Boycott this thing that is connected to this thing, which is connected to these people that donate to the Democratic Party. That is what strategic fighting is. Y'all don't know what the fuck you're doing. And then you run out there and inevitably the thing that you wanted to get fixed gets fucked. Now all of a sudden you either hiding your hands or asking for fucking help. Why? The anti-blackness and the anti-black woman comes from you motherfuckers not knowing what the fuck you're doing. You love talking about the civil rights movement, but you don't study the motherfucker. The quickest and easiest way to bring a motherfucker to the table is to fuck with that money. It always has been. America talks in finance. America talks in business. When you pat them pockets, people have a tendency to want to start correcting shit. And the Target boycott is a perfect fucking example of this. Target decided we gonna try to curry favor with Donald Trump, so we gonna back off of DEI. Black folks said, all right, bitch, we'll back off of Target. Now look at them. Now look at them. Are they coming to the table? At this point, we don't give a fuck if they do or not. But they're now realizing we kind of need these people. We really kind of need these people. Motherfucking CEOs making less money based on sales. You will not take the black dollar for fucking granted. And now they know. And if they do decide to come back to the fucking table, we might not be there when they do. I ain't been in a Target since this shit started. I drive right past motherfuckers like they ain't even there. That's where you could have went. You could have made your point by fucking with people's money. You could have. Yeah, you could have made a strategic, scalpel-like fucking fight against the donors of the Democratic Party. Forcing those donors to talk to those politicians to go talk to you. But you didn't. And that man sat there and said, had Kamala Harris won, nobody would have ever listened to us again. Well, guess what? Now we really ain't listening to you. Because in the process of you doing that, you fucked us. You fucked us. You want to know why a lot of people are so pissed off at y'all? It ain't got shit to do with Palestinian people. Nobody wants to see what's happening to them happen to them. And that includes some Jewish folks. That includes some Israelis in Israel right the fuck now. No, it was your fucking arrogance, your anti-blackness, and your anti-black woman that pissed off so many fucking people. You think this was about your vote? No, bitch. It was about your arrogance going to that vote. Because in the long run, you would have gotten a hell of a lot more flies with honey than you did with vinegar. But you didn't even bother with the vinegar. You went straight to gunpowder and fucking shoe prints and shit. You weren't strategic. So stop bringing up the civil rights movement. Stop it. Stop it. Stop bringing up any parts of the civil rights movement. Stop bringing up Martin Luther King. Stop bringing up the March on Washington. Stop the I Have a Dream speech. Stop all of it because you learned absolutely fucking nothing. The first act of the civil rights movement, the Montgomery bus boycott, none of you studied it. None of you. But you walk around talking like you know what the fuck you're talking about. You weren't strategic. You were a blunt instrument, and you fucked over so many people on the same side of the political aisle as you. Why? Because you were selfish. And now you're running from your fucking consequences. Don't. You're right. We will never trust you again. We will never talk to you again. We will never listen to you again. And we will never stand in solidarity with your ass ever again. Because it wasn't just the fact that you were a blunt instrument. It's that you were an arrogant, anti-black woman fucking blunt instrument. And now the thing that you did all that bullshit for, whether you sat out, voted for Jill Stein, or voted for goddamn Donald Trump, now it's coming to fruition in a way you don't like. Now you want to talk solidarity. Go study how the fuck we did it the first time before you even come and fucking talk to us again if we decide to talk.
No one will ever be able to convince me that this genetic mutated group of humans are born with a soul. The white humans who are exceptional, I'm pretty sure they have something in their DNA. And yes, I know a lot of good white humans, but most of them have something a little sprinkled down the line from generations ago. USA is proof that the genetic mutated group of humans are not born with a soul. This country could be literally what we advertise it to be if white humans were good people and had souls. But it looks like they don't, because this country is perpetually in shit because of white humans. White humans make it stagnant. White humans keep it mediocre. White humans commit the most atrocities in this country, yet white humans don't hold other white humans accountable. And that's why I say you will never, ever be able to convince me that white humans are born with a soul. They were not born with a soul.
You want to know one of the main tent poles of white culture? Rampant individualism.
I hate this comment way too much. I just got to respond to it. I'm going to keep this really short. I live in America, and I'm an American. Guess who I support? America. That's what I support. I think we should pull our nose out of any war in the world and let them figure it out. We can focus on America. There's plenty of homelessness, crime, school shootings, whatever. Like, we have veterans that are homeless, okay?
You only care about your nuclear circle. Started in the 1930s, 1940s, really getting pushed. This idea that you only give a shit about your nuclear family. And even in that nuclear family, in white culture, it's incredibly dysfunctional. To the outside world, you show this unity, but dad is sleeping with his secretary and mom is trapped in the kitchen and dad gets to beat mom at any time. The children aren't listened to by their parents. You have to create a fallacy for the outside world. So when I see white people like this, we shouldn't care about anybody else. What about the veterans? Y'all don't even give a shit. You vote for policies every single day. You vote for and support politicians who do not give a fuck about those people. You only use veterans and homeless people and the marginalized as a gotcha or as a way to deflect from the actual conversation. That's the only time you ever bring them up. Do you ever go out of your way to do what you need to do to support those people? No. No, the fuck you don't. Hell no. The question is super simple. Do you support genocide or not? And it's always mental gymnastics to get out of answering that question. That's what doesn't make sense to me. Genocide is a deal breaker for me. But for somebody to hear that, do you support Palestine? Well, this is not, I'm an American. That's not America. We shouldn't really care about that. That's fucking stupid, first of all. Second of all, most of the conflicts around the world have to do with us because we caused them. The way that America throws the rocks and then hides their hands is so fucking insidious. Causes the issues, causes the instability, and then, well, that's not America. We shouldn't really care about that. That's not my fault. We should care. We should care. The reason that's one of the big reasons that USAID being dismantled is a problem. The United States has caused rampant poverty, rampant instability. And for us to completely cut off aid to everyone except Israel, we're still giving money to Israel. That's a fucking problem.
We have seen them with ticket torches in Charlottesville, with banners in DC and state capitals, in military-style uniform, shouting aids through megaphones while police quietly stand by. This is not fringe. This is not isolated. This is organized white supremacy, marching like it owns the land again. This is not news. It is a resurgence. It is a rebranding. The same hate that fueled slavery, lynching, segregation, and redlining is still here. It is just swapped white robes for polo shirts. America has always had a place for white supremacy. From laws to courts to policing, the march never stopped. It just changed formation. And every time we are shocked, we allow it to grow. They are marching because they feel empowered, not just by ideology, but by silence, by lawmakers who downplay it, by media who call it free speech, by systems that pretend it is both sides. There is no both side when one side believes in domination, hate, and genocide. If they are marching, it is because someone opened the gates. And if they are bold enough to march in public, imagine what they are plotting in private. Some people say, just ignore them, do not give them attention, but ignoring cancer does not cure it. And letting it march unopposed does not make it disappear, it makes it grow. White supremacy does not stay in marches. It moves into policy, it takes seats in Congress, it signs law, it pulls triggers. History has warned us, loud and clear. The question is, are we listening or are we waiting for the smoke to rise before we act? If you are more uncomfortable with protesters shouting for justice than you are with the Nazis marching through your city, check your values. Silence is complicity, comfort is privilege, action is required. They are not hiding anymore, so neither can we. Speak up, show up, stand up against it before it marches past your street. Thank you for watching.